Real quick shout out to the sponsors of these streams, to the partners that I've been working with for ages now, PrimeXBT. So if you want to trade indices with me, you want to trade gold and silver, the S&P 500 indices, Forex, and you're like, where can I do that with crypto? PrimeXBT is a good option for that. I've been partnered with them for a long time now. They've done right by me in the community, you know, helping me continue to put out these videos for you guys for free, get that editor that I'm paying full time to make the short streams and the condensed versions and the TikToks and the Instagrams and all that stuff. So shout out to the Prime team. I'm really appreciative. As usual, if you use code MAIN50 after creating an account with the link in the description, you can get up to $7,000 in deposit bonuses, 7% of whatever you deposit up to a maximum of 100K. And that helps me out as well. So if you want to help me out, that's one of the best ways to do it. Use that Prime link, make an account, throw some money on there, follow along with me on some trades. That's the best way to support me. If you do all of those things and you send me a DM showing me that you've done it, I will invite you into the Discord, which is completely free. So I'm in a couple of trades actually. Let's go over those. I'm long actually both Bitcoin and Ethereum. I like the Bitcoin setup less than the Ethereum setup. I think Ethereum's a little stronger. We'll get into that, but this is what we've been waiting for, right? So if you remember the last video and remember what we did up here, we were short, right? Or we were looking to short, we were bearish at the range highs. After we finished longing this move, this was our TP. We had the very nasty rejection here. And I said, okay, next thing that's probably going to happen here is we're going to see some sort of retracement, broken market structure here. We're going to hopefully see some sort of retracement, right? And then a bearish retracement into this now bearish range, right? So we had this range drawn out. Here's our 12-hour range. I said, I want to see a retracement here to short. That was kind of the plan. So we confirmed that H12 swing low. We started moving up a bit and then boom, we sold off again. I'm still of the mindset that this does go up from here. So we have this 12-hour order block here, breaker here. There's also a daily order block in here. So we have this area of support that generated, right? It broke us out of this and generated this move to the highs. That original move began here. So when we come back here, this is an area that potentially could give another reaction. I'm not necessarily saying another reaction to all, higher than here, but at least enough of a bounce where if I'm now bearish, maybe I can use this area as a bounce area to then get short. But I did believe that this was support here. So we came in, we got a little bit of a bounce. I said, okay, this is what I'm liking. And what I want to see now is some bullish setup form in this area that will give me confirmation that we're going to then trade up here. And then I have my reasons for wanting to short up here, right? There's this 12-hour fair value gap. There's also this bearish order block here with a swing high sitting right at it. There's your fib, right? So I want to see a retracement into the range that would put us in the upper part of the range. So all those reasons, right? This is where I think the potential lower high, right? Low, high, lower low, lower high, and that's what I'm trying to play. But if I think price is going to bounce to 17.5, say I want to short 17.5. Well, if we're at 16.5, can I not try and get a long to 17.5? Of course you can, right? It's all relative to time frame. So if my high time frame daily bias is down, there is going to be uptrends here on the lower time frames in each one of these pullbacks. So even though this pullback resulted in a lower high, it doesn't mean that there's not an hourly uptrend here. And then when that hourly breaks market structure to the downside, now it's synced back up with the high time frame trend, and that's when you get that continuation leg. So just because price is going down doesn't mean there aren't long opportunities. And just because price is going up, it doesn't mean there might be short opportunities. Obviously, these are counter trend. The better trade is getting a lower high and riding this down as opposed to this. But you can do both. So I'm playing basically a hope of a retracement that then turns into a short. So I'm long, but I'm only longing up into the area where I want to get into a higher time frame short. And the reason I'm explaining this over and over and over again is because, like, perfect example was like the last 2 days. Like, I posted something about the dollar and SBF. We're gonna blast this guy on stream. I don't give a fuck. I'll give a single fuck, not one, not a solitary one. So I posted this about the dollar, right? We had this huge rally, biggest sell-off on the dollar in ages. Huge sell-off on the dollar after a monster rally, which was perfectly in line with the top being put in on crypto and on risk assets. Stocks And other risk assets, sans BTC means not including Bitcoin. Okay, for those who don't speak French, like this guy in here. Thrived over the last 2 months, retesting this old range high. So basically what I'm saying is, listen, if the dollar can catch a bid, that means more downside likely coming for risk. And stocks are up 20% in the last 2 months, right? If it weren't for the FTX thing, I do believe Bitcoin would be up, and it is up in the last 2 months, but just not as much because of the FTX debacle. And this guy goes, some fucking dishcloth is what I call him, because that's what he is. Risk assets thrived over the past 2 months. Are you actually blind? I'm like, equities are up 20%. And basically, I think we just ended up arguing on what is is thrive too strong of a word? We bounced 20% in the last 2 months. To me, this is a risk-on environment that we've been in since the start of October. Been bullish on risk. It doesn't mean that I think the bottom is in and we're making a new all-time high. All I'm saying is this has been an uptrend because the dollar's been doing this. And that's what I just explained there is exactly what I just talked about on Bitcoin. We can be bullish here, even if I think that this results in this. We've had 2 months of going up on stocks. In my opinion, as someone who's actively trading the market, if I'm bearish high time frame, should I just not take a single trade over the last 2 months and just wait for us to get to resistance and short it? If that's what you want to do, by all means do that. But there was opportunities to long here over the last 2 months and make a bunch of money, and then you can flip back short getting into the high time frame trend. That's all I'm basically playing here on Bitcoin, right? Is okay, I think I do think we probably trade lower. I don't love how, we've now run the range low, we've run the range high. I talk to you guys about this all the time. Like, I make my living, so if this is your range high, this is your range low. I make my living trading these, right? But now we've run the range low and the high, and then broken down quite aggressively after running the high. So to me, it just seems like some sort of move up probably leads to another move down towards the range low. That's just kind of my gut feeling, is that this is likely what's going to play out here, and then the dollar is going to rally and stocks are going to roll over. That's kind of my gut feeling. That being said, I'm not trying to predict the next 3 moves. I always talk about this. What's the next 1 move that I think is going to happen? Just 1. And can I make money on that? So that's what I'm hoping for here on Bitcoin. The reason I like the ETH setup more is because you can see here on Bitcoin, we ended up breaking below this low. Yeah, we're looking to reclaim it right now, which is okay. But ETH gave us a swing failure pattern. Swing failure pattern to me, I like better because it's like, okay, clearly that was a run on liquidity. We're now closing back up above that level. This is technically a market structure break to the downside. We have a low, a high, a low. Here's your lower high. You now have a lower low. So you could argue that this is it, right? We're just going to do this. Go take out this low. And then, we have a bunch of lows built up here, right? That could get wiped. Come down, get this low, this low. This could be it. But I'm hoping that we're actually going to get a decent rally here on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stocks for the next few days, and we'll be able to short a little higher. So my setup effectively, right, is the classic. We have our floor here. We have our liquidity, right? Run below. Okay, I now want to see us trade above here. This is the key test now. If we're able to do this, then by all means, I think we're going to run up towards here. At least to here. Possibly up to here. This is like 17.5. This is like 17.2 to 3. But we need to flip this. This needs to be effectively what? The breaker. I want to see a run on the low. Market structure shift. Buy the retest, right? That's the setup. That's what you're seeing potentially form right here. I'm going to wait and see if this plays out. If we get that market structure shift, we need an hourly close above this candle right here. Then you can compound any longs that you may have, I went wick fishing a little, saying, okay, I think we're going to get a bounce. So I actually started longing in this candle, and I was underwater for quite a while. Like, my entry is like 475. It's not even close to the bottom, but was underwater for a while. If we get that market structure drift, I'll compound aggressively. Risk is here. Could probably even bring my risk up to like here now. Because if this is going to go up, I don't want us coming back near this wick, really. The reason I like Ethereum more is Ethereum did this exact same setup, but the 12 hour is also an SFP. Just a little bit more confluence. I like it a little better. It seems like it's a little stronger. So I should have longed Ethereum first. I ended up longing Bitcoin, chased a little, and I said, oh, Ethereum's stronger. So I started piling into Ethereum. But the hope is this. Move up, right? So here's our run. We're now going to see a retracement into here, and then we're going to reject, put a lower high in here, and then I'm going to trade this back down. That's kind of my prediction for what I think is going to happen. But who cares about this? Because this is not possible until we get this. So I'm just trying to determine, can I get in a play from here to here, right? That's all it is. Can I trade this to where I want to short? So that's what I'm looking for on Bitcoin effectively, is a bounce towards 17.2 to 17.5, maybe a little higher, right? We'll play it as we go, but there's a lot up here. But above that 50%, right? Above 17,300 is ideal. Into that upper part of the range. ETH is the better long setup if you had to pick one, but the logic is the same. I think that we faked out the range high, broke market structure. We're now into support. I'm looking to long support and then get short on what I believe will be a lower high. So same logic as Bitcoin. I think the ETH setup is a little bit cleaner. What's nice, at least, right, is, you know, when we did the last stream, I said, hey, run of these highs, close your longs, because we're probably going to dump on both Bitcoin and Ethereum. Go look at the date of the last stream. It was before FOMC, which was this candle. I was like, I think once we run this high, we were trading here. I said, I still think we come for this high. Close your longs after that, and boom, fucking retrace the entire move. So hopefully I saved some of you guys some money on that kind of shit. But yeah, that's the plan for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Currently long both, looking for effectively something like this on ETH and something very similar on Bitcoin. So playing the long into here and then the short for the next leg. Obviously, we could come up here and continue to be bullish, right? Like, I'm not just going to blindly short this box. I would look for some sort of low time frame distribution as a reason to get short, obviously. Let's look at equities real quick here. We had this move up on equities, right? This fake out to the upside. I had 41.75 as my target, and I thought maybe we would push into this 3-day order block. Didn't happen, right? Did not happen. We didn't get that far, but we did run the high. Basically instant reverse. Same thing as Bitcoin. Took out the highs, market structure shift to the downside, another market structure shift, and here, another market structure shift. So this is similar to Bitcoin, whereas Ethereum took out the high and just did the one MSB right here, and now we're looking for some sort of retrace. This has those extra ones, right? So makes it a little trickier. Looking at this on the 12-hour, we had this huge sell-off, small bounce. We've now run this low into support. So similar plan is Bitcoin and Ethereum here, right? Okay, can we maybe get some sort of retrace into this larger bearish leg? Here's your high and here's your low. Can we get a retrace into here on equities, maybe into this fair value gap? This is a breaker here as well, just like on Ethereum. Maybe we can trade up into here for then a lower high, right? Now, it didn't SFP. However, it doesn't have to just SFP, right? So the one common misconception with, and I think the thing that people go crazy over with liquidity runs and things of that nature is like, what's a good way to explain this? I like SFPs. They're one of the main things I look for in terms of trying to get in trades on reversals. That being said, just because price goes below a low and doesn't SFP, it closes below. If it gets back above, okay, I treat this as an SFP. Does that make sense? So even though it might not be an SFP, it might be an SFP on a higher time frame, but maybe not on a lower one. But if we make an obvious move below a low and then reclaim that low, I treat this as an SFP, meaning I look for reversal signs here, low time frame setups to go the other way. A good example of this, which just came to me while I was explaining that, is the setup we took here. You guys remember, we took a long here for this leg based on a run below these lows and then a reclaim. This is my SFP, right? Deviation, whatever. It was a run on liquidity. Now, where was my stop on that long? Right there. Treat it the same as an SFP. Same here. So look, this is not an SFP on the 4-hour, but this is very clearly a run on liquidity. We get right back below the level and then we end up selling off. But if I change the time frame, oh, it's an SFP on the 12-hour. So, okay, is this still not? So what I'm trying to say is the logic, the way it works is still the same, or at least that's how I treat it. So that's what we're looking for on equities here. Same as Bitcoin, same as Ethereum. I want to see us get above here. Look where we're rejecting right now on Bitcoin and Ethereum and stocks right now, right? Here's the bullet bearish order block. So this needs to flip to get relief for then the plans that we had laid out here and here to work, right? So Ethereum's the strongest of the bunch. It's got the breakdown and the market structure break. So let's hope that we get the push. Maybe we come down into here again, but ideally this is the plan, and it looks the same on all of these charts. All right, so let's look at the dollar now. So the reason I have this lower high thesis on crypto and risk, right? Because stocks have done this for the last 2 months, right into high time frame resistance, and now it's done this. Likely, we're about to make a new leg down on stocks. Like, that's what I think is going to happen overall. Like, this looks like the beginning of this. This, I think we make a lower low here. I'm looking to see how we broke down here, retest, then sold off again, break down, hopefully a retest, then sell off again. That's kind of the plan, right? So I'm expecting stocks to continue down. But while the dollar has been dropping, stocks for the last 2 months have been rallying. But now the dollar is coming into very critical high time frame support. We have a monthly bullish order block here. We have this old range high. This is support for sure for me on the dollar. We're now coming in here. We zoom in a little bit. You got a little 12-hour SFP now that's formed here. Clearly this is an area, or a weekly SFP, excuse me. Go down to the 12-hour and we now have potential for, bottoming. If you look at this type of pattern into support, this to me generally breaks up. I guarantee you, if I were to put on an RSI right now, we would see a bullish divergence, or like the awesome indicator. Any sort of divergence indicators, we have lower lows going into major support. I bet you we have higher highs on the oscillators, right? You see what I mean? Not the cleanest bull dip, but that is higher lows on the RSI, lower lows on price. Higher lows on the awesome indicator, lower lows on price. So if the dollar is coming into support and putting in these high time frame bull divs, I believe that you want to be careful with risk assets, because if the dollar catches a serious bid here and stocks roll over, crypto is going to get nuked to hell. Altcoins are going to get smashed. Bitcoin's going to get smashed. It's all going to get smashed. So this is a chart that, in my opinion, is very important. Now, the question is, are we about to bounce super hard here, or do we have one more stab down? So for my long into short thesis, right? So here's Ethereum right now. So we have our high here, traded above, below, okay? I want to short Ethereum here. For that to happen, likely I want to see the dollar roll over one more time, let stocks, Bitcoin, and other risk get a little bit more of a bounce. Then I want to short this. And when that happens, when we get to here on Ethereum or equities or whatever, I want to see this then break out and that daily bull div play out. Because if this rallies and this is in my short zone, that's double confluence that we're going to get an absolute banger of a trade. So that's why the dollar chart right here, I think, is at a super important spot that you want to be watching. We have the yearly close coming up here. This yearly candle on the dollar, pretty fucking ugly. Like, this could close as an SFP on the yearly into resistance, right? That would be ugly. So if this closes below the year, right, at 103,650, it's a yearly SFP. What does that mean? Why would that potentially be good? Well, that would be potentially good because if this is just a deviation, right, of that big range that we have, and we trade back into this, that's probably good for risk assets long term. Now, obviously, we're talking about a significantly long period of time here looking at the yearly chart, and a lot can happen, but that could be good overall for risk. That being said, just looking at the dollar here, even if the top is in, so let's assume that this is the top for the dollar, it's not going any higher, we can still have a very big bounce here, right, before another leg down, and during this very big bounce, risk gets crushed. So my kind of like super high time frame idea would be, okay, the dollar is doing this, we get this bounce, this gives us our next leg down on Bitcoin, right, on equities, on Ethereum, etc., right? This big bounce gives us our next major leg down. Stocks end up at 32, SPX ends up at 32, 3,300, like pre-COVID levels. The dollar rallies, all of these things dump super hard. And then when this puts in a lower high, these begin to bottom, right? So, maybe we get one more leg down below 15 and then we start to bottom and the dollar starts to get bearish again and roll over. If the dollar rallies super hard here, right? Like if for some reason this is just a retest and we make a new high here, like let's say this happens on the dollar, the bottom is not going to be anywhere near in if it makes a higher high, right? So for the bottom to be close and be preparing to come in, we need this to start to trade back down. Okay, if this makes a new high above this high, the bottom is not in on risk. Very important chart, very important time, right? We're coming up to the yearly close, so we're going to be marking out yearly open levels and things like that, right? But if we want the bottom to come in on risk, if we want the bottom to come in on Bitcoin and stocks and etc., we need a bearish dollar, or at least a dollar that's going sideways. We cannot have dollar trading higher. It's almost Christmas. Let's go. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a single fuck. Not one. You bet your ass I'm going up for the rejection. Trader Main is the crypto Charlie Puth. I don't even know what that means. Getting a hair job? What is that? You can blast me and I'll still love you. Hopefully your boyfriend isn't seeing you write this stuff to some stranger on the internet. Come on, dog. We're gonna find out soon. That must have been fun in high school. Jesus Christ. How you took entry on F? By pressing the green button. If I can change one life, that's enough. Just a penny a day and you can support a fellow degenerate. In the arms of an angel. For 1 penny a day, you can support a destitute crypto trader. That's all it takes. No coffee from Starbucks today. Send that money to support your fellow degens. Man, how do I stop my butthole from itching after taking pre-workout? Stop putting it in your butthole. You're supposed to put it in water and drink it. That sounds like gibberish, but that's effectively the majority of my strategy. Where's the gay line now for Bitcoin? It's still at 30K, man. So we are all homosexuals for the foreseeable future. See you on Grindr. That's a lie. I'm sorry for lying to you. You guys don't deserve that. Maybe? Nice try. I will not be got that easily. SFP, the wick. What's the meaning? I don't understand your question. How do we enter long now? What's the setup? Enter off the breaker? Yeah, bro. Like, watch the fucking video.